Let's wait for the sound quickly. Okay. Okay, sound is working, so we can start. My name is High Tech, of course. Here we talk crypto. What just happened today? Jesus is king, and let's go. Let's go. Let's examine what we are dealing with here. So, if you guys have any questions, ask them in the live chat, of course. And as soon as I notice, I will give you my response. So yeah, the title of today's live stream is something happened. Something important happened. And that was just with the close of yesterday's daily candle. And here I mean mainly Bitcoin dominance, because look what has happened here. By the way, I forgot about one thing. Okay, now it's good. So we finally confirmed that we fell out. We went below this uptrending line here on Bitcoin dominance that was holding it for way too long. And it looks like we are finally starting what supposed to be started long ago. So a continuation of overall trend, and here overall trend is a downtrend. And yeah, maybe today we will have a little bit of a pause. Who knows? Maybe tomorrow, but in upcoming several days, I still think we'll continue to give back whatever was taken. So that's of course very good news for altcoins. Amazingly good news, and I think it already manifests here. Take a look at the daily, for example. Quite a lot of green here and there. Baby is doing quite well. I have a trade in Baby. STRK is doing very well, and just yesterday I realized STRK is some sort of a privacy coin. That was surprising. I didn't know it was a privacy coin. But apparently it is. And this trade, yeah, as of yet, plus 49%, almost plus 50%. So it's on its way back to all-time high of this trade. No, I like what I see, because here I missed double by a thread. You know, my take profit is at plus 100%, so it went up to 95.85. So I was a little bit bitter. It fell short, but apparently we are back on the right track here, and yeah, I don't see why it shouldn't get there. I expect it actually to reach the target sometime next week, probably. And yeah, it definitely has a lot of room for growth here. I don't know what's the situation on this coin with inflation, how high inflation it has, how high supply increases every year. What's the whole, let's say, tokenomics of it? Like I said, until literally several hours ago, I didn't even know it had anything to do with privacy coins. So surprise. By the way, guys, if you have any questions, of course, ask me in the live chat. Don't forget about that part, and like and subscribe. Don't forget about liking and subscribing. Give me a like if you are vibing with me here, and subscribe to the channel. I don't know why I don't get any views right now, which is a little bit weird. By now I should get at least some views, or maybe this one is lagging here. I'll check on it a little bit later. So yeah, that's the main info of today. Another info is that SPYX is pushing up, right? Is pushing towards the upside. SPYX is the tokenized version of SPY. I keep looking at it, especially on the weekends, because this one gives us a solid look into what's happening at TradFi when they are not trading on their official exchanges, right? So seems like the moods are not the worst. The moods are not of that worst kind here, since it's recovering. I mean, Friday wasn't bad after all, because I mean, yeah, it opened low, but it practically recovered all of that loss upon opening. And now, as you see, it is continuing with the recovery. So probably tomorrow it will stay that way, and that will give us a very, very solid opening on Monday. If something was spoiling there under the cover, probably we would already see it here. And as you see, nothing like that is to be seen. So that's good news. Yeah. So I expect these bubbles to keep growing throughout the week. On the weekly time frame, probably it will get better and better. I think it's time for altcoins to finally change the direction. I think what we can see on others chart. Let me show it to you. What we can see on others chart here, we can treat as a retest of this downtrending line. So I think I was speculating about days ago that we can still come down to retest it, and once we have that one checked, we are off to the races, right? So when we inspect current daily candle, it still does not look like we have gathered much upward momentum, but I think it will probably change towards the end of today's daily close, or if not today, then probably tomorrow, and it will become a little bit more apparent. On Heiken Ashi, this one is still red. So Heiken Ashi shows us slightly better if it's already has it already shifted? Has the trend already shifted? But yeah, this one is still not green, but probably if it even goes sideways like this for the remaining part of today, maybe tomorrow we get a green Heiken Ashi, and that will be that additional confirmation that you should not be expecting any further fall from here. And on Bitcoin dominance, speaking of Heiken Ashi candles, on Bitcoin dominance, when you switch to the weekly, I mean, not only this is the first red weekly on, let's say, conventional candles, but also on Heiken Ashi. It's also first red weekly. So, and as you see, it's also below this uptrending line. So, yeah, we have a plethora of confirmations here that there is some sort of a shift happening, occurring under the hood, and that it either means a capital rotation from Bitcoin to altcoins, or just capital inflows into altcoins. Maybe, let's say, the big money, big players are already have come to conclusion that enough is enough. Those prices are really cheap, and from here it's actually quite easy to make significant amount of money, and it's time to deploy capital there, right? That part of the space. So okay, now I see I'm finally getting views. So yeah, decent, very decent. I mean, I've been waiting for it for how long it has been? 56 days. So almost 2 months. Way too long. Definitely way too long. I was not expecting this bounce to be that strong and that long lasting, but everything has to come to an end. I said it. We are not going to see Bitcoin dominance coming back to 63% and making new local highs. Bitcoin dominance destiny is zero over time. It will have to come down to zero. Of course, this will not happen tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. It can take even decades. If we are very lucky, very lucky. If we are not as lucky, then probably a few years. Here I'm taking quantum computing into account. It's a little bit difficult for Bitcoin to reform. Why? Because it's already very big, so there's many circles of interest there that want to maintain status quo, and they are trying to stop any changes from happening, because that literally means they're out of business. So that's a normal thing, right? That's a normal thing when let's say a network becomes big. It always happens. And Bitcoin functions in a free market environment, so that is why it's I mean, from the beginning it's already known it will have a very hard time maintaining high levels of dominance, because there is a lot of competition out there that, as a matter of fact, is really good. So the biggest lie of yesterday was that Michael Saylor was selling his Bitcoin, and that was of course false. So I'm if you haven't heard anyone clearing it out, then here I'm doing it for you. Michael Saylor was not selling his Bitcoin. He strategy was simply transferring their Bitcoin to Coinbase custody. So as the name says, actually the name says it all. It was a custody. They were moving it to the custody service. So that has nothing to do with selling, right? So I don't know. Maybe that contributed a little bit more to the selling pressure yesterday. Highly probable. I mean, especially on the retail side, because retailers, they usually don't check. And on exit, I mean, it was enough with asking Grok, is that true? Because that is literally what I did on air, on this live stream and on my Polish live stream. I just initially on my Polish live stream, then I repeated on this channel what I checked. And yeah, it's that easy nowadays. It's that easy, and people still don't remember about it, and they blindly believe whatever they read on the internet. So yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is, and that is why retail must be losing money here. But this is a zero-sum game. The money you win come from those that lose it. So apparently, that's not really a bad thing. If smarter people win, dumber people lose. It's a natural consequence of things. Natural selection right there in front of your eyes. So considering how amazingly high the level of fear is currently, and it is great. I mean, the level of fear is very rare to see, because at CMC it's 16, as you see, 16 at alternative.me it's 10, which I'm not going to show now because I don't want to I don't want to type in anything in my browser, so you don't see my search history. But you can go and check for yourself. Alternative.me, which is another version of Crypto Fear and Greed Index, shows 10 today, which is what is a level that we've seen literally a handful of times since 2018, right? A handful of times, very, very few times. So yeah, that is why it's extremely unlikely we will see a continuation of this downward move. Extremely, extremely unlikely, because bear markets, they do not start in at I don't know, 25% from the top. Yeah, 25% from the top, right? From the very top to the very bottom, just 25%. Bear markets don't start 25% from the top, and in circumstances where everyone is shaking hands and agree, okay, so now we start the bear market, right? That has never happened like that in the history of trading. So I think we are right now, we are extremely safe from from any big crashes. And that should serve very, very well to altcoins, because those already had so many crashes, pressed so against the floor. They just simply must pump. They must pump. And you know, considering that I see more and more voices that the only way of making money on altcoins is to short them, of course it will come as a big surprise, as an immensely big surprise, and back again many people will get completely wrecked, liquidated to the bone. Because how are the liquidation levels for today? $311 million. So that's actually still the after effect of yesterday, the shockwave of yesterday. Tomorrow it will probably completely fade. And yeah, so there was quite a lot of capital liquidated in longs. I think now is the time to change the direction, and probably market makers will proceed with liquidating the shorts. Let's take a look at liquidation heat map. Probably vast majority of liquidity is above the price. Yeah, exactly. And Model 3 probably will show the same. Yeah, definitely. Definitely more liquidity is above the price. Of course, remember, those liquidation heat maps are very, very, let's say, vulnerable to spoofing. It costs zero to spoof order books, literally zero. On blockchain, it costs something, but it's negligible. The cost is negligible. On centralized exchanges, it's literally zero. So that's why you always have to take it into account that it could be showing you the result of how the market is spoofed right now. But considering, you know, how much liquidations we just got in longs, it's rather, I mean, it's on greater side of probabilities that this picture is real. This picture that we are staring at right now is real, and indeed there is more liquidity sitting above the price, meaning that market makers will go for it, and they will attempt to liquidate it. Guys, don't forget about subscribing to the channel if you are vibing with me here, if you like the format, if you think that I'm doing a good job on this channel, then don't forget about subscribing and giving me a like, of course. That will work too. So yeah, I live stream twice a day. Recently, twice a day. Said sometimes even thrice a day. So yeah, something I wanted. Okay. And don't forget about the sponsor of the channel. That's my meme coin right here. It's called Hightech. And every single Friday, I select one hodler to send him one whole Hightech. So as of now, it's around, as you see, $74, almost $75. Once it was over 300, we'll get there back again. Absolutely sure. But the requirement, the minimal requirement is that you have to own at least 0.02 Hightech on your address. And then on Friday, I will randomly select one address, and then I will do it actually on my YouTube channel, same as I did yesterday on my Polish YouTube channel, and on channel I'm sending that one Hightech to the lucky winner. So I think it's worth to stay around, to participate, to integrate with the community. I think we are up for some fun here. And the more the project grows, the more attractive the win becomes, because like I said, it already was much more than $75. The cost of one meme coin, Hightech meme coin, went up to $300, and I'm absolutely sure it will go way higher. At some point, it will go to thousands of dollars. So somewhere down the line to dozens of thousands of dollars. And the win will remain the same. It will be always one Hightech, right? So it will become more and more attractive. So yeah, anything I wanted to add here? Maybe let me take a look at ETF inflows, outflows, because I haven't looked at it. How was it going yesterday? Okay, there was outflows, but those, remember, when it comes to Bitcoin spot ETFs, those are people selling, not the entities, right? Not BlackRock, not Fidelity, not Vanek, but their clients. That's a very significant difference. BlackRock themselves, they invested 6.15 Bitcoin of their own money. 6.15, not $6.15 million in Bitcoin, no, 6.15 Bitcoin, and you can check it if you don't believe me. So they invested nothing. They literally own almost zero Bitcoin. 6.15 is almost zero for someone that big, for an entity that big. So these are outflows from their ETFs, but those assets belong to their customer base, not to themselves. So yeah, guys, if you have any questions, of course, ask me in the live chat. I've been 11 years in the space, so I'm quite experienced. Maybe you have some doubts you want to clear out. I think I'm able to give you a satisfactory answer. Okay, let's take a look at X. What is up today? What the space is talking about? BTC Death Cross update. So yeah, when it comes to death crosses, don't worry about it, because first of all, if the slow moving average is pointing upwards and there is a death cross, that completely does not count. But of course, everyone will be talking about it because it's a sensation, right? It's sensational. So everyone will be, freaking out, afraid. What's going to happen to us? And that's just simply invalid. The long moving average must be pointing down. Then when we have a death cross, then it is actually, it carries any power. Otherwise you can completely ignore it, and it will be correct. Robert Kiyosaki. 2 more things. I will buy more Bitcoin when it crashes over. There are only 21 million Bitcoins for now. I'm 100% sure hard cap will be taken off sometime in the future. and not because it's a bad idea to have it capped at 21, but because people are people, and Bitcoin Core already is trying to force one very malicious proposal, which is they want to allow whatever size of the block. I mean, in final effect, whatever size of a block, because they want to take off the limit of data that can be attached to a block. So that allows to spam the Bitcoin blockchain to a degree at which Bitcoin network will stop literally block one from that change taking effect. So at some point, at some point, someone will sneak in the idea of actually taking off the hard cap. So some tricky way of circumventing it, and it will happen. Or or people will be dissatisfied with Bitcoin performance, and there will be a dispute. What actually has happened? Some smart heads will be talking, hey, it's because of the hard cap, and people will agree to take it off and give Bitcoin into the tail emission. That is coming, I guarantee you. And I do not guarantee things. Just generally, I do not guarantee things. I don't have a habit of guaranteeing anything. But this one is very simple, so that is why I I feel comfortable doing so. Okay, well, so Bitcoin Kiyosaki, he has activated, as we see. Robert Kiyosaki, he's a little bit of a figure that people laugh at because he forecasts, he predicts huge crashes literally every single year, and nothing happens, as you probably already noticed. And why is that so? Well, because I mean, we are having a constant crash, but it's done the way, so it's quite difficult. It's tricky to notice, and it's because of it just got translated over to inflation, right? To inflating fiat currency. So that's why we do not see everything falling, everything losing 50-70% of its value, because it's measured against a currency that does that, right? So a little bit slower in less aggressive fashion, but it just keeps melting like an ice cube, right? Here I'm talking about US dollar, of course, world reserve currency. Fed update. No cuts now, more likely. There is now a higher chance, 55.6%, that the Fed holds rates in December, with only 44.4% expecting a cut. Very unlikely, in my opinion. I think we will see an interest rate cut. I'm to be honest, I'm not worried about that one. But maybe it's good that people start to bet there won't be any cuts, because when they happen, that will be a catalyst for markets to kick off a rally. Because let's be honest, 0.25, which is 25 bps. This is not an abysmal amount when it comes to cutting. It will not really affect anything. So that could give Fed, let's say time to come up with something. For example, they can skip one interest rate cut. Let's say next year, arranging a situation, right? That they cannot make FOMC because of something. I think it's much more likely we will see a kind of story of that sort if they really consider it's a problem. Quinton, extreme fear always ends in extreme regret. Yeah, that's true. Like I said, it has never happened that 25% from the top, everyone shook hands and was absolutely shitlessly terrified what's going on with price and agreed that we start a bear market. It has never happened in the history of trading. So it will definitely not happen now. This is not how bear market starts. Vivek Sen, Robert Kiyosaki previously said BlackRock is suppressing Bitcoin price so the whales can buy under 100,000. I don't think that's what is happening. Yeah, scared whales are buying. I don't think that's what is happening, to be honest. It's just, listen, most of the space shifted over to trade on futures market, and futures market is nothing else but betting. That's it. So if you all own two football teams and you see that there's team A and team B, okay, let's say you own Manchester United and Liverpool, right? And they play together, and you're literally the owner of the two teams, and you see vast majority of football fans, they bet on Manchester United winning the game, right? Like I'm not busy, man, like 10-1. So of course you will affect the game. Of course you will tell them, yo guys, you just let one pass, one slip through, let Liverpool win. That's an order, right? And you bet against Manchester United, right? And that's literally what market makers do. They see what the crowd is betting at. They take opposite bet and they either pump or dump the market, just so it goes the opposite way, opposite way what the market participants betted on. It's that simple. It's that simple, and that is why we have price action this choppy, and that is why we have to wait so long for the price to actually reach a level. But fortunately, that does not work at any given moment in time. When the market is at extremes, market makers cannot really pull something like that off, because there are very dangerous territories of doing something like that. Like for example, when there is a lot of hodlers that their bags already have puffed up like crazy because the asset has seen a parabolic trend. Then even if they see a lot of liquidity above the price, it's very risky to try to pump up the price even more because anyone can counter them. Why? Because there's so many people with so much of that asset, so much in value that they can counter them when they pump up. They try to pump up the price on the spot market, right? Because futures is tracking what is happening on spot market, right? Futures market is betting what is about to happen. Is betting on what is about to happen on the spot market, and it's the same when it comes to a market that has been suppressed for a very long time. Is literally licking the floor. It's let's say supply is very concentrated. It lays in very few hands, very few strong hands. There is very little supply left, circulating supply left. It's extremely dangerous to try to keep shorting it because again anyone can counter it. Like anyone can look at it and consider, you know what, those prices are actually quite good, and buy it, and they'll be countering, even the big boys, because the big boys will have a huge problem with finding enough of that supply, OTC to suppress the price even lower. So it's as simple as that. It's very, very simple. It's not really that complicated. I hope you understand my poor English here. So yeah, breaking. BlackRock just sold $175 million in ETH. That's not BlackRock. BlackRock, they don't invest in Ethereum. They don't invest in Bitcoin. That's their customer base. So you see how bad this space is in communicating anything. It's all about sensation. It's nothing about facts. All about sensation. Yeah, it's sad, but it is what it is. You must learn it as fast as possible and get used to it, and that's it. And just deal with it. So yeah, guys, don't forget about subscribing to the channel. I live stream every single day. Nowadays, twice or even thrice a day. And don't forget that every single Friday, I select one high-tech hodler. High-tech is my meme coin. You will find all of the information in the description section of this live stream, how to get one. If you want to have a chance of getting selected next Friday, then get yourself 0.02 high-tech, which is very, very small amount, very, very small amount, but that will make you eligible to win one whole high-tech next Friday, right? So yeah. Hey guys, thank you for your time. That's it for now.